Alright, so here we're going to have a review of the Reecho and Peacock Audio Spring. This is a 2-dynamic 1BA IEM. It costs around $130. There's two versions of it, one with a brown cable, one with a blue cable. I think the blue one is a little bit more, costs a little bit more than the brown one. I know the blue one costs $130, but right now there's a sale and they're both around $100-ish, with the blue one being around $10 more. Anyway, so let's get into this. You have this really big box that I can't really fit on camera. It's a pretty nice looking box. On the back you got it's like a clear little window to see the IEMs, which is a unique way of packaging I haven't seen ever actually. So yeah, let's open it up. To the side, opens up like this. The foam here holds the IEMs, so you can take that out. Take the IEMs out. We'll put that here for now. Alright. And so we got this case. We'll talk about that in a second. Get like the instruction manual and stuff in this little packet. So yeah, all that stuff nobody cares about. And a bunch of tips, a lot of tips. So I tried these tips and I did not like them at all. I thought they were shrill, harsh, all that. I tried these tips, they were good, not bad. I tried these were the best tips on these, and then I did not try foams because I do not use foam tips. So let's get this box out of the way. Okay, so this case is terrible. I hate it. This is a stupid case. It's huge. This is not going in any pocket, and it's not even good for travel either because, let me just take the cables in here. We'll talk about that in a second. It's just a giant box. Like, I know cases are boxes, obviously, but like it's just not. There's no like place for holding things. For example, let me grab a case here from another company. I don't know. Here we go. This makes a lot more sense. It's like the right shape, like the right size. This is like, this fits in here. You can probably fit two of these in here. This is stupid. Anyway, small rant about the case out of the way. It's a dumb case. I hate it. Let's talk about the cable. Otherwise, I actually like this cable a lot. This is a really nice cable. Probably one of the best cables I've seen with an IEM. Definitely the best cable I've seen in this price range at $100. This cable is very nice. It's like a cable you'd spend around $50 on. It's very straight. It's got a great weave. It looks very nice. I really like the color. This blue is really nice with this white color. And it's got a really nice connectors, really solid feeling and looking. It's just overall, everything about it is really great. It's got great great like separator here for the two, like, that it branches off into. I don't know what that's called. Here's the metal separator. Yeah, connectors are great too. I do wish one of these were like red so you can see that it is labeled on the bottom. All right, let's get this out of the way. But yeah, great cable. Here is the IEMs themselves. It is I think a resin shell with this, well, peacock pattern actually, and I think it looks nice. I mean, it actually looks better on camera than in person, in my opinion. In person is a little bit underwhelming. I think they seem very proud of the way it looks. I mean, it is a good looking IEM. What is surprising is how small these are. If you grab this IEM here, actually it doesn't look so different on camera, but when you actually see it in person, like, these are a lot smaller in person than on camera. Like, when you hold this, it feels tiny. So that's good for people who have small ears. And yeah, otherwise they look alright. The build's alright. It's got like a little filter inside of the resin, which is not usual, but okay. So yeah, let's talk about now sound. I want to just let's get into comfort also first. They're comfortable, no problems. Yeah, I have no issue with the comfort. Good comfort. Okay, let's get into sound now. The sound is not the best. I mean, it's not awful, but it's not good. So let's go bass mid highs like I like to do now. And the bass is probably the best part about these IEMs. It's punchy. It's not very muddy. It's got detail. I mean, it's not like the best bass, but it's punchy. It's solid. It slams. It doesn't have good decay. I will say that, but it is a very good bass for the price. Nothing to complain about with the bass, actually. It doesn't overwhelm the sound. It doesn't underwhelm in any way. It's a good amount of bass with a good quality for the price. At $100, it's doable. Also, this is actually a magnetic, so that's why this is moving. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so let's go into the mids. The mids are thin, really thin. I don't like it at all. Like, at first I'm like, this is okay. It's got a good amount of mids. It's relatively forward, but it's just thin and very BA sounding. It's got a heavy BA timbre. Really not something that you want to see at this price range where it's really competitive nowadays. It's just overall very thin mids. The note weight non-existent, really poor. It's just not good, not recommended. Let's go into the highs. The highs, they're pretty shrill. It's not like the worst. It's not like awful sibilants. I can't stand listening to these for more than 10 seconds. It's more like fatiguing. Like, you can definitely listen to this without having issues, but it's kind of like the Galileo for me, except it's a bit more fatiguing than that. It's actually a lot more fatiguing than that. It's where it's not bothersome the first few songs, but then after listening to like five songs, it's just like, this is starting to bother me a little bit, you know? It's not a comfortable listen. These are quite bright IEMs. It's just not something I recommend. Otherwise, oh yeah, Soundstage. That's something these do well. I think they have good Soundstage. I think if you got my head here, it's around here. It's like decent. It's not in your head experience. It's got a good stage. Imaging is average, maybe a little bit below because it gets a little bit messy with the highs. So it's not the greatest imaging wise. Yeah, let's bring in something I would recommend. I do recommend the Truthear Hexa. Oh, I do want to say, the spin fits are not good on these. Spin fits made these sound even thinner than they already are, which is just awful. Don't use spin fits on these. At least in my opinion, I don't think spin fits would work well. Anyway, talking about the Hexa. The Hexa is just better in every way. I'd say that I do actually prefer the bass on this, maybe a little bit, but just a little bit because it's got a little bit more punchiness in the bass. The bass on these is actually quite nice. It's not poor at all. It's quite decent, but I think this has more decay in the bass. This has less bass. This has more bass than the Hexa. But otherwise, I think the Hexa just outperforms this in every other way. Better note weight, better mid range, better highs. Overall, better. Maybe the same soundstage, a little bit more on the Hexa actually. It's just around there. Less BA timbre on the Hexa, but yeah, it's just the Hexa is far better than these in my opinion. And then we also talk about the Kiwi ears Quartet, which I recently reviewed on the channel. These are an excellent set of IEMs. These have a little bit more bass than these, but I think that the bass quality is maybe a little bit better on the Peacock, but I think there's just more of it on here. But it's not a big difference here in bass quality, but there's a lot more bass on the Quartet. I think the Quartet also does the mid-range a lot better and the highs a lot better. The Quartet is something that you can really enjoy strong bass with without having to sacrifice your mid-range and your highs. You can get great all-around performance on the Quartet and get still strong bass. I didn't want to bring the what's it called, the Reecho into here because it's just not necessary. I think you get the point. These are not recommended by me almost in any way, unless honestly I just no. There's no reason to get these. I'm trying to think of a reason, but there's not, other than maybe if you want to just display it, if you really like the way these look. They are a very unique looking set, but otherwise you probably want to get one of these two. If you want a more in-depth comparison between these two, it is in my Quartet review on my channel. I'll link it in the description if you're interested. But yeah, in the $100 price range nowadays, we've got great IEMs, great options, lots of competition, and I just don't think that these compete in any way against some of its competitors. So I hope this video helped out. See ya.